Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the Tougies Take podcast. We are back again, your favorite trio that says they like to talk about hockey, but then we end up answering very, very weird questions for most of the show. Gentlemen, how are you? I hope you are well. I will answer. For those on the video portion, you'll get an answer as to what the hell's going on here. I'll answer how I'm doing in a minute. Endo Mills, how are you?
Good. Still want to fuck the pickle.
And Sin, how are you?
I'm fantastic.
Yeah.
Just finished up a fun game of Warhammer, and here I am.
Now, do you only do like the tabletop Warhammer stuff, or have you gotten into the games at all?
Oh, dude, I play the shit out of Total War Warhammer on my PC. Yeah, I have. Let me check. I got Steam open. On Total War Warhammer 2, I have 2,370 hours. And on Total War Warhammer 3, which came out, I almost have 400 hours now.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I play a lot.
I only say that because I've been watching a lot of, the best ofs for 2022. There's like 2 different Warhammer games that are like constantly in people's top 10s.
Oh.
1 or 2. So I figured like, well.
What are they called, or do you remember?
I don't remember. I'd have to look them back up.
Some of them might be 40K, which is the other universe that they do, which is all futuristic and shit. But I play fantasy.
There you go. So, for myself here, and again, there's a visual aid to this. I hope I don't lose power while we're recording. I say that because of the current weather. Now, some people, Sin, are smart enough to have gone to Florida for NHL All-Star Weekend, which we'll talk about in a little bit. It's a pretty good idea to go to Florida in February. 81 degrees in Miami right now, 27 Celsius. That's not too bad. We're going to Helsinki in like 2 weeks, which is hilarious. Currently 27 Fahrenheit there, -3 Celsius. Honestly, that's manageable. I'll still walk my dog in that weather. Where I live right now, it is -9 Fahrenheit or -23, with the wind chill of -33 degrees. The wind is great enough that it is causing a panel on my roof to go up and down, which as a result is breaking up ice on. It's just, I hope my house doesn't collapse. It's cold. Hence this lovely product that was once a sponsor on a stream of mine. I'm hanging in there. And, a lot of people are like, oh, yeah, hey, you're going to Helsinki in February. Most people are going to Florida. Helsinki is an escape for me right now. It would be an escape. It would be warmer. I'll go to the beach in Helsinki tomorrow over what I'm dealing with today.
It's going to be nice, man. Not going to be as cold as I thought it may be. But like it's a far cry from here where right now it's 57 degrees Fahrenheit where I am. So it'll we don't have much of a winter here in Sacramento.
I saw you bitching on Twitter that somewhere else in California was getting snow. You're like, give me the snow.
Oh, no, this is like one town over from me. Someone's weather app said, it was like 45 degrees and it said they might get snow flurries. And I'm like, that's not possible. It was just the weather app being weird. No, yeah, it'd be awesome if it snowed in Sacramento. I've only seen snow in California. Well, in like the places I've lived, which was Bay Area and here, and it was only snowed twice, maybe 3 times in my childhood in the Bay Area, and it wasn't real snow. Everyone would be like, "That's not snow." I
have more than enough to spare if you would like some. It is frozen in place and will be for months at this rate.
Over here is pretty cold too. Like we got hit with something as well. I'm just looking over there. It says like a wind chill warning for southern Maine. I'm like, all right, cool. You're in like the northern Maine, aren't you?
Mid coast, east coast,
East Coast, East Coast. Okay, yeah. So like over here in Canada land, well in Toronto and the general Toronto area, GTA, it's -17. I haven't even checked the wind chill, what it feels like. It feels like death. Yeah, so it's 2 degrees. It's 2 Fahrenheit, and with the wind chill, it feels like -27.
Yeah, that's a bit too cold for me.
Yeah, I have a hockey game tonight. I have
to go for me.
That's kind of nuts how it's colder there than it is in Helsinki. I mean, I always thought it might be.
Yeah. You know it's bad when people who are used to cold are bitching about the cold. And don't worry, we won't talk about the weather for too much longer, but this will result in people responding to this podcast in some way, shape, or form, being like, oh yeah, you think that's cold? I live in Red Deer, Alberta, and it was colder than the surface of Pluto. And it's like, nobody fucking cares. Cold is cold. It's all relative.
Actually,
if I were to take a leak outside, my piss would freeze instantly instead of midstream. It would just stop. No, that's what someone would say, I'm sure.
Oh.
Just to exaggerate how cold it is. I might go test that theory. It might actually be.
Is it cold enough to do the boiling water trick? Probably not.
Oh, where you just throw it out the
pot
probably.
And it turns into snow.
Honestly, I could try that and get back to you with how cold it's going to be.
Post it on Twitter or you didn't do it.
Okay, I will. That'll be if I can bring myself to actually be outside for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Get that snow clout. There you go.
Pixar, it didn't happen.
Damn it. Speaking of Pixar, it didn't happen. This show, as always, is brought to you by our friends at manscaped.com, where you can use the code Tougie, Tougie, for 20% off your order and free shipping. Of course, Manscaped, the #1 in men's grooming, and of course, they've taken it to new heights, from the groin to the face, with the new Beard Hedger Pro kit. Make sure to check that out if you haven't already. It's got everything you need. A luxury beard grooming kit of the highest degree. And it's got everything you need in terms of taking care of that beard, making it look its best. Whether it be the brush, the comb, the scissors, the balm, the shampoo, the oil, and of course, the one-of-a-kind trimmer with built-in attachments. No more taking them off and, oh my God, which one's the right one, fiddling through the bag. You just spin the little wheel on it and you make that adjustment. The Beard Hedger Pro Kit, check it out. And so many other tremendous products from our friends at manscaped.com. With that, let's move into some viewer questions as we do. And I will take blame for the low quality of some of these because I put out the call late. We were supposed to record yesterday. We all had a SportsGamer.
SportsGator.
Another rebrand midway through a season, just SportsGator. There you go.
Fucking hell.
God.
Okay. Now, you say like, oh, what a mistake. I think we have an alligator as the mascot.
Yeah.
I think we do.
People in Helsinki have never fucking seen one, so let's bring it.
Oh, what the fuck is this? It's alligator.
That wasn't bad. That wasn't a bad accent for someone who doesn't hear too many people.
Oh, he's got it down. He's got the inflection.
You just have to watch enough Eki just for a little bit. You know, you get it down real fast.
That's very true.
Tougie, thank you for the aid, my friend. No,
you're getting more towards Russian here.
Dave.
Still sounding more Russian, but you know.
Dave. All you have to say.
We'll get our friend Monkey Dude 22, who has a lot of mascotting experience, to come to Helsinki in a couple of weeks
and come be the SportsGator.
To come be the SportsGamer.
Dude, we actually have to pitch this now. Like, it's too good. The SportsGator.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
Damn it. The World Final in Helsinki coming up. As mentioned, these questions I put in the call late because we had that meeting yesterday and didn't get to record. As shown by our first question of the day from Fire Don Sweeney. Favorite day of the week?
Sunday.
Why?
Day of the Sabbath.
Jesus. Oh, God. Now, see, this changes, right? I'm going to take this dead seriously.
It does change for me.
When you were a kid, it was Friday or Saturday.
Yeah.
Easy. Unless you had a bad home life, in which case Monday was great. Well,
trauma.
Where's the lie?
Hey, listen. Don't listen.
Right now, though, what is the day of the week where you're just like, yeah, this happens today?
Yeah.
Wednesday. Yeah.
What's Wednesday?
Oh, you explain what Wednesday is, or just like you just like the word?
What's up? What's on a Wednesday? I don't fucking know. Why is Wednesday your favorite day of the week? It could be any reason. I don't give a shit.
Wednesday is my favorite day because that's when I have like organized beer league hockey. Where I can blow up both my ACLs and get my 3 fingers blown off in Korea. Just kind of. Yeah, that's the one for Tougie and anyone who's watched OG Game Grumps right there. But yeah, I like it because it's like the halfway mark of the week, and I have beer league, and I love beer league because I'm not gonna cut it as an e-bug, and I'm too fat, so I play that with guys who used to play like semi-pro hockey, and it's fun. Challenge.
There you go.
Yeah.
Sid, what's your favorite day of the week?
Right now, yeah, at this place I am right now for the past probably couple months, it's been Monday because I get it off from casting.
Fair.
We have and it's right after we do 2 casts the day before, so it's like that feeling of like, yes, I have fucking nothing to do today. Sometimes we play Warhammer on Mondays. So that's always fun to look forward to. But yeah, it's just a great. And then if I want to go somewhere, pick up food, do something, no one's fucking out. Like it's true. That's my dream as an introvert, and just don't have to, go run into a bunch of people. There's not traffic till like the late afternoon, and the times I eat is usually like, since I do like mostly intermittent fasting, it's like in between like 10 and 6 p.m. So, yeah.
For me, it's Friday for the same reason. We're done with the podcast for the week. We're done with casting for the week. I'm like, oh, sweet. I got 2 days that I don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah. See, I was going to say
live
Friday. That's a good
closer to my fiance's parents, and they always have like pizza and wings nights on Friday.
That's
homemade
cool.
pizza. We'd go over there today, but it's literally too fucking cold for cars to function properly if the cars aren't used to it.
Should have had a Tesla, man.
Why? So it could blow the fuck up?
It's too cold to blow up, too.
Fucking built-in heat with the Tesla.
The battery's just like, oh, you need a fire to keep warm? The battery just ignites.
Oh, Tesla, perfect for those Friday the 4th, July the 4th. On a Friday, even. It was a s'mores joke. Holy shit.
What's great? Remember how last year I was doing snow removal and all that fun stuff?
Yeah.
And I like basically was like dying every day because we were out for like over 24 hours doing fucking snow removal. For some fucking reason, I don't know why. Like 12 to 24 hour days to do a bunch of sites because the guy who was running it was super unorganized. I could go on for a whole entire thing about that, but I'm not going to.
Hey, no, go ahead. We already talked about the weather for 10 minutes.
Because it's trauma. So when one day was really, really fucking cold, I see like a Tesla just in the middle of the road with a bunch of snow just there. And then I see someone try to jumpstart a Tesla with a regular car battery. And I'm like, this is fucking hilarious. Great. That's it. I know, concise for once, right?
I don't know them. I don't know how Teslas work. Do they not? I guess don't use normal car batteries.
It's a different type of like ion battery that they use, and like the car wouldn't start because it was so fucking cold, right? So they had to like fucking try and jumpstart the fucking Tesla. It was fucking weird.
There's your free publicity, Elon. Lord knows you need it. From RG Dust, favorite gummies or candy? Now, I will say this. I'm not a fan of... Well, that's a lie, actually. In terms of anything like with that gummy texture, if you go to like an old school candy shop and get gummy worms, they don't stick to your teeth and they taste fucking delicious. Aside from that, I don't like the feeling of stuff sticking to my teeth. So, with that, we're talking favorite candy. And the Reese's is a go-to. It's the number one. I feel like we talked about this 3 months ago for Halloween, but here we are. Like I said, late questions, this is what we get. Endo is leaving. Sid.
Yeah. What's my favorite gummy
this time? I'm good.
Or candy?
Yeah.
I hate gummies. Like they're gross.
Yeah.
we 100% answered this.
We did.
And I think we got into an argument about the discussion was if chocolate shouldn't be counted as candy.
Yep.
True. We did.
But
so RG, go back and listen to our show closest to Halloween, and you'll be good to go.
Just, I don't know, Reese's peanut butter cups. The holiday Reese's, because they always taste better for some reason.
There you go.
I know it's close to Valentine's Day, and I can get the Valentine's Day Reese's. Let's go.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's the only thing I get to look forward to now.
If I didn't know any better, it's just the thought of like being single and getting like the heart filled with Reese's. Just eating them alone on your couch.
It sounds sad, but
eating them alone in your chair while playing Warhammer. To some, that sounds sad. To you, that's a great time.
It was a great time, but also kind of sad.
Okay, bud.
God. From AJ, what is your favorite obscure toy from your childhood that no one remembers?
Oh my
Sid,
God.
Your answer is clearly that fucking plastic castle that you shared on Twitter last night.
Yeah, the Fisher-Price castle, dude. That thing was so fucking awesome, man.
Every fucking daycare had that, I swear to God. And they never had the fucking cannonball. I don't know why. Every single daycare had that set, and some fucking mouth breather ate the cannonball and just walked off with it. I don't know what the fuck it was.
I used to also use the cannonballs that came with it. I had this little like wooden hockey stick, like
it was you. You took them,
and then no, I had my own because I didn't lose shit because they were. Anyway, yeah, I used to use that to like play goalie. I'd have like a baseball glove and that fucking stick, and like if you put the ball in front of you, you could like whack down on it with the stick. At a certain velocity and like hit it and it would launch it towards you. So I'd like make saves on myself. Yeah, I was an introvert at a very young age, playing with myself constantly.
If I didn't already know the answer, I might have guessed you were an only child.
No. I had a sister, and that's worse.
Fair enough.
An older sister.
Can't relate. Sorry.
Yeah.
Endo. Your favorite obscure toy from childhood. I will say about that castle though, I didn't have it, but my best friend did, and that was all you needed, right? Odds are you knew someone who had that.
And they came with. I don't know why that picture only shows like a few guys. It came with like 11 guys on each side in the black armor and the gold armor. And for me, I guess the guys in the black armor were supposed to be invading. Hell no, they were cool because they were in black, so they were defending.
Yeah. And no, anything come to mind for you?
Excuse me, just yawned. First thing that came to mind was the you guys remember the iDog?
No.
Okay, so
yes.
It was like a little white little dog kind of thing, like a robotic kind of thing. You could play, it was like a speaker, it was interactive. You could like tap its head, like give it a pat, you could like tap its tail to like make it mad at you. And it would, if you were to play music, it would try to see what kind of music you're listening to and play different like colors on the head of its like screen to do that. If that was like the original. There was one called the IZ, which was like this weird ass looking thing with like a penguin newt nose, like mouth, and like two fucking big ass eyes, and had like two like satellite kind of like ears on the left side. You could twist it, move it up, and you could like make loops and like beats with it. It was fucking weird, man.
See, I just grew up in a completely different era than you did, Endo.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Screens on dogs. Dude, the closest thing we had to that was like a little battery-powered dog that would take some steps all janky.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I will put an image of what the fuck I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about because I have nieces and nephews, but
I don't care enough because I'm still thinking about that Fisher-Price castle.
Right? Me too. Like I'm sitting here trying to think of something.
I want to unironically just go out and buy that so I could experience it again for a day and then sell it.
So you might know what were the things? I don't even remember what the hell they were. It was like this. Basically, it would give you like a sample, like a 10 to 15 second sample of a music video. What fucking device was that?
Hit clips.
Hit clips. Oh my god, thank you.
I have the All-Star one, the All-Star hit clip. That's all I have. I don't have a thing to play it, but I have the Smash Mouth All-Star hit clip.
Oh my god, I couldn't think of what those were. And not necessarily that those were obscure because they weren't.
But like looking back, you can easily forget about that. Nano pets. Remember when everyone had to have a fucking nano? Dude, they banned those in my elementary school, but we still had them. Get fucked.
Yep. Oh my God.
Can't stop me. Search me, bitch. I'm a white kid in the fucking middle class neighborhood. I'll exercise my constitutional rights.
Jesus. In terms of obscure toys, man.
Christ. Oh.
I got nothing in terms of obscure. I wasn't quite a trend chaser, but it's like, what toys did I have growing up? Pokemon stuff, Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. I was a big wrestling nerd, so I still am. I had all of the action figures as a kid, though. Played a lot of video games.
Now entering the Titantron.
Oh my God, you know that?
I had it.
Oh, that's amazing.
Those little things on their feet, and you'd put them on the thing. You could also press it certain ways with your fingers to make other songs play.
Yeah, for those who don't know, there was a WWF set, like the entranceway, and right at the foot of the entranceway before the ramp was these 2 sets of silver bars. And it would line up with the action figures having the same bars on their foot. And if you did it, it would play their theme song. There was only like 8 characters that had theme songs. So if you didn't have one of them, you were like, fuck. But there was a button on the back and it would play a random one.
Yeah.
The best. We always talk about how you weren't that big of a wrestling fan, but the fact that you know that makes me incredibly happy.
Yeah, I had that in the ring. I had a ton of guys, man. Like I had I had The Undertaker. I had like Stone Cold, Diamond Dallas. No. Not Diamond Dallas. The guy who was probably part of D-Generation X. He had long hair, wore sunglasses all the time.
Me X-Pac.
What?
Show me X-Pac.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, because he had the entrance theme on that thing.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, he had like long black hair and yeah. Wore like a bandana, I think, and sunglasses.
That's him.
Okay.
That's him.
Had Mankind and Kane and yeah.
See, I feel like that's a thing, right? Like so many people your age, a little bit older, my age. I mean, you're a couple years older than me. It's not crazy. Your age makes it sound like, I'm young and spry. I'll turn 29 in 3 weeks. It's one of those things where wrestling was so fucking big at the end of the 90s and into the early 2000s that even someone like you, where afterwards you're like, I'm moving on. So many people had that phase of at least being into it for like a year, 2 or 3, and then moved on. Yeah, it's crazy 100%. How fucking big it was.
Yeah.
From Reds Rebels, I guess. I don't know. I think we answered that question.
We covered it
satisfactorily. What's your favorite Lego set and what's the amount you'll pay for one? I was never huge into Lego.
I like Legos, but I wouldn't still pay for them.
So funny about that. I had a basin of Legos and I don't know what it was, but I don't even know what the fuck I built. I just built random shit. I didn't even follow a guide or anything. I just somehow encompassed a lot of Legos. I had a lot of Bionicles too. Like that Lego, I just like made concoctions of like disgusting whatever. Just built weirdly and all that.
Did you ever end up with like Connects and stuff like that too?
Oh my god. I used to steal Connects from my fucking elementary school. Oh my god.
You're sitting here giving out about Sin stealing the cannonball, but you're stealing Connects?
I didn't even steal those. Those were mine.
Where do you get off, sir?
Where do I get off?
Don't answer that the way you want to answer it. How dare you? The nerve, the gall.
Oh, I remember Connects. I had some of those. I had to look those gumption. Up. Oh my god, I had that little car. Okay, anyway.
Fucking Connects, man. I did have Lego and Connects as a kid, but yeah, stuff like Connects, and I feel like there was another one too, another kind of brand like that. God damn it.
Yeah, I played with Legos, but not really. I can't remember any specific sets I really built or had. I remember when I was very, very young, there was like this beach set. But mostly I would just make my own shit with Legos. One thing I was much, much bigger on were Lincoln Logs.
Yes, I had
those were fun, man. Like
Lincoln Logs. Hold on,
to the point when I started getting into like playing Warcraft, man, and like I had like the Ninja Turtles toys.
Oh shit!
The old Ninja Turtles toys and like some other like medieval type toys. I would like build buildings for Lincoln Logs, and I'd like, imagine it was like Warcraft. I was like building buildings, and like the Ninja Turtles were orcs because they were green, and yeah. I played a lot more.
We need more lumber. We need more gold. That was actually, believe it or not, it's one of the first games I randomly started playing, which was like Warcraft. I haven't played it in like at least like 20 years now. I'm 25.
1v1 me though, dude.
Dude, I haven't played that game in so long. You know when I was playing it?
Get Warcraft 3 and 1v1 me.
I went to an internet cafe and I was like 7 or 8 or 9. I can't remember between that range. My life's a blur. Too many bash wounds to the head. And so what ended up happening is we went to the internet cafe and we just started playing games. Everyone else is playing fucking CSGO. And I'm like, what is this game? I play Warcraft for like a good hour. We have an hour and a half. And I'm like, oh, I'm done playing this game. I'll play CSGO instead. I get 5 minutes of gameplay and then we have to go because the time ran out.
I thought of what I was thinking of. Magnetics. Which were sticks that had 2 magnetic balls at each end.
Oh my god! I know what that is.
And you could build up with those too. So.
Oh yeah.
I had bits of kind of all of those, and
I've never had those or really seen those. So.
Yeah, I would
also had.
That would be the same thing though, Sin, right? Like you take like the Legos, combine them with the Lincoln Log and all the other stuff, and just go. Yeah. I will say though, Lego set wise, like there was a time I binge watched Stranger Things. They got caught up last summer, and I'm just like, ooh, like a Stranger Things. The Lego set would be great, dude. They're so expensive, and some of these things are absurd.
Yeah.
Shout out to brickfanatics.com. But they
it's a fan page for the cartel.
It's a cover up. You get you order the white bricks. You order like a big kilo of it. You just get a pound of fucking Coke just on your doorstep.
Oh my god. So they have this list of the most expensive Lego sets as of apparently September of this past year. Some of them, of course, are no longer available, hence why they're expensive. There is a bulldozer that's app controlled that sells for $500. There was like an original run like of a Death Star that was like $500.
Oh yeah.
Hogwarts Castle $470. Like some of these are insane. Like you could get a Lego Roman Colosseum that's $550.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Lego Titanic with 9,000 pieces, $680.
That's insane, man.
So is it designed to be broken and fall apart like the Titanic, or what?
It splits in half eventually. The iceberg not included. The most expensive one is the Millennium Falcon.
Oh yeah.
7,500 pieces. Any guess on what you can buy a freaking Lego Millennium Falcon for?
1,200.
1,300.
You both went over. Good guesses though. Honestly, I would.
Price is right. I win.
$850. But still, $850 for a Lego set is fucking nuts.
It's just a fucking 3D puzzle.
Like, yeah, they're fucking cool and all, but
you're not wrong.
Damn.
Yeah, you can't really play with them or anything like that.
And at the end of the day, they are supposed to be kids' toys. Yeah. That is not to say that you can't enjoy Lego as an adult, and that I'm shaming you if you do enjoy Lego as an adult. It's supposed to be a fucking kid's toy, though.
That's expensive.
Lego? Like no. Lego is marketed as family friendly that everyone can enjoy.
Yeah, but when they say family friendly, it's mostly kids.
What
dude.
Fucking families? It wouldn't have been my family.
Fair enough.
And little brackets, small text, middle class and up.
Yeah, if you see the ages on the Lego sets, they're all ranged to like no later than 18 years old. Like it's always like 6 to They always have an age thing on their thing of like, what ages, 4 to 8, 4 to 6,
it was like
whatever.
6 to like 65 or some shit like that.
Oh, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah,
well, whatever. But yeah, mostly kids.
Fucking Lego, god damn it. Our final question: you're in the Stanley Cup final. It's Game 7. Hey, hockey. Welcome to your favorite obscure toys memories podcast. You're in the Stanley Cup final. It's Game 7. Who do you want playing goalie for you?
Me.
I mean, even if you get blown out, you got to play Game 7 of a Stanley Cup final.
Vasilevsky.
Yeah, Vasilevsky for current day is probably the best choice, right?
Yeah.
Because this question didn't specify current or past.
I would still go with him over any goaltender of the past. I don't give a fuck. Because you know what? Brodeur won't have the trap devils in front of him necessarily.
I was going to say, right? Like, could I answer like 2011 Tim Thomas? It's a question that needs
still better, though. Sorry.
It needs more specifics.
Yeah, I'm still going to say Vasilevsky's better than Tim Thomas, though. Like, his elimination game numbers are fucking absurd. How many shutouts does he have in Game 7s and shit? Like,
ooh. A lot.
Yes.
That's a good answer. Come back next time with more specifics to make it easier for us. With that, half an hour into the show, let's actually talk about hockey, I guess. This is where the show goes downhill, everybody. The connects and all that. That's the good stuff. That's what you're here for. That's why we put it first. I almost unplugged my microphone there. Our first little topic of the day is kind of one of the main topics of the last show, and I want to go back and talk about it a little bit. A few days later, the Bo Horvat trade. Because we were talking about it as the news broke. There's been a lot of discourse, time for it to really set in. We know the final terms. At the time of recording, we did not know there was cap retention, which isn't a huge deal. But it ends up being Bo Horvat on 25% retained to the Islanders for Anthony Beauvillier, Aatu Ratu, and a conditional first-round pick that is top 12 protected this year. If the Islanders keep that pick, then the Canucks get an unprotected first next year. From the Islanders' perspective, do we still feel positively about this trade for them, knowing that they are a few points out of a playoff spot right now? And I have to be honest, after editing their team in NHL 23 and seeing some of the more up-to-date numbers and not just viewing people as kind of like based off their name value, I have no idea how Ilya Sorokin has as good a numbers as he does. They've been bad. They have been bad. Defensively, I think back the past couple years of Adam Pelech, Ryan Pulock as like one of the best defense pairs in the league. Apparently not. In terms of depth, it's a bit shaky. They're still paying guys like Kyle Palmieri $5 million a season, Josh Bailey too, and they're not worth that anymore. Bo Horvat helps. He's the best forward on that team. I kind of tend to agree now with the people that have had the take of maybe they test this out for a month, and if it looks shaky, they move him before the deadline. I honestly think they might.
Yeah, they did give themselves some wiggle room. That's a good point. He doesn't have like a no trade clause or anything, obviously. So
nope.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think they could win either way if they move him or if they sign him. But yeah, that's interesting.
The question will be whether or not, if that does end up happening, if they get more for him than what they gave up to get him. Roster player, one of their best, if not their best prospect, and a first. But
it's a lot. But it's protected first, man. So if they do miss the playoffs, get something else back for Horvat.
Yeah,
that could be really good. Like, yeah. But
for
it's
the
only
Canucks,
12 protected. So
yeah.
And I mean, you got to think 16 teams make the playoffs, 16 teams miss the playoffs.
So you got 4 spots. You'd have to kind of really slide, but at the same time, it's a big league, man.
It's true. For the Canucks, you get Anthony Beauvillier. Who knows And then it's basically, you're primarily looking at Ratu and that first rounder that, of course, they don't know if it's this year or next.
Yeah, it can only be 13 plus this year.
Yeah, which, kind of, on one hand, you're like, 13 plus, you never know. You never know where that
is a pretty deep draft, yeah.
I don't hate it for the Canucks. I initially viewed this as a huge win for the Islanders. I'm a little bit less optimistic. I still think they could... My thinking is, if you make the playoffs as the New York Islanders, I think they could go on a run because of the phenomenal goaltending and a roster that's kind of built to be the scrappy 2-1 win type of team. And that can be a tough team to beat in the playoffs. We have seen teams go on runs where they arguably shouldn't have been able to because they have a team structure like that. So that's the reason why I stay optimistic for them. For the Canucks, I still vehemently disagree with, you kept JT Miller, you kept Kuzmenko, but you got rid of Horvat. It's like, Horvat's on a heater and it won't last. But I don't know. You essentially chose JT Miller over Bo Horvat. I don't know if that's going to age too well.
Yeah, it's a terrible decision.
But a first in Ratu is not bad. To me, I still kind of equate it to Montreal, where, and granted, the teams are in a different spot. When Mark Bergevin traded the likes of Max Pacioretty, he got a good return. You got Nick Suzuki out of that. You can't complain. Should he have traded Max Pacioretty in the first place? I personally say no. I think you could have kept that team, and I genuinely believe the Habs, and again, that trade was in 2018. Carey Price didn't have the issues to the extent that he does now, where he's not able to play. I think for the Habs, you didn't need to readjust the core of that team. If you had just gotten some of the pieces surrounding the core a little bit better, who knows what could have happened. It was because of the Canadian division, but they did make a Stanley Cup final. And a player like Max Pacioretty, in theory, if you still make it there, would have helped a hell of a lot. For the Canucks, getting rid of Bo Horvat, you got a pretty good return. But was that the right player to get rid of? Because if you make some adjustments, fix your fucking defense, it shouldn't be that tough. You got Quinn Hughes already. Like, I don't know. That's just my viewpoint of it. I can't view it as a major win. We're like 10 years out, though, from knowing if this was a win. It depends on that first round pick.
Yeah.
So, all in all, they're doing okay. Both sides. We'll see what happens. That trade might not be done. Today, the Washington Capitals announced they signed Dylan Strome to a 5-year, $5 million extension. He's got 36 points in 52 games in his first season in Washington.
That's a lot of money.
It is. And coincidentally, I do believe his brother Ryan was signed to the exact same contract as a member of the Ducks. So the Stromes are eating well.
I mean, he's got 36 points in 52 games. So he's essentially kind of a 60-point guy.
His career high is 57 points.
And he's essentially kind of on a similar pace. If not just higher. Mm-hmm. I'd say he's on a 60-point pace. 36 and 52 with 82 games. Subtract 10, maybe minus. Yeah, close enough to 60-point pace. So, I don't know. 60-point score, making $5 million. That's kind of a good spot. I don't think it's a bad deal by any means. He's still young enough too, and that it's only 5 years, so he's right. That's within all of his high productive years. That he's what, 28? Or 27.
He is 25.
Oh shit!
Who's
him or is Ryan older?
Yes.
Okay.
Ryan's a couple years older.
Okay, that's all right. All right, yeah. So Dylan, this is a great fucking deal then.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I think that's terrific. I think he still maybe has another step up he can make. If he doesn't, I think it's a fair deal. And again, it's not huge term. He'll be off it when he's 30. You can renegotiate at that point when you can judge, is he going to drop off?
Pretty much. I mean, Lars Eller's $3.5 million comes off the books at the end of this year. So theoretically, they're looking at a center core of Backstrom, Kuznetsov, and Strome.
Sign Eller to a cheap ass deal, then he's a great 4C.
Can you imagine? Yeah, it'd be a very, very good setup for them. So Washington, they just kind of keep hanging around. When people have been predicting them to just fall off hard, it still hasn't happened. That levee will break eventually. Which kind of brings us to
is done.
Yeah, right. Ovi's gone. Okay, off the cliff. Speaking of the levy breaking, Dylan Larkin, his time in Detroit might be done. The team still negotiating on a contract. Essentially, there was a report that they're apart and Yzerman's not really willing to budge that much more. Making $6.1 million this year at 26 years old, the captain of the team. And I mean, if you're not going to re-sign him in the next month, that all of a sudden becomes a pretty interesting deadline option for some teams. Career high of 73 points in 76 games back in 2019. And yeah, he is 26 years old. Will turn 27 in the summer. Dylan Larkin. I mean, I don't necessarily blame Yzerman if the numbers say is 8.5 that's being floated around. I don't know. I think he's worth it personally, but I get not wanting to necessarily budge. But if you're Larkin, do you want more money to stay on a team that hasn't been in the playoffs essentially at all since you've been there? I don't know. I'm very much intrigued by this because we already know, that Bo Horvat was probably the number one center target for teams. Detroit could get a pretty damn good haul, I think, for Dylan Larkin, especially if a team was thinking he'd resign there. But even then, and I'll throw it out there because he's on this team right now, Ben Sherratt last year fetched a first-round pick. If Ben Sherratt can get a first, what could the Red Wings get for a Dylan Larkin?
But isn't Ben Sherratt a right-handed defenseman?
He is.
So let's can't judge it. I think it's very different to judge.
Actually, no, he's a lefty, isn't he?
Is he?
I think he's a lefty. We've had this fucking conversation before. I know we have,
but
he is a lefty. He is.
Gross.
I just looked. He's
How
a lefty.
the fuck did he get a first? God, Florida's so bad.
God, Florida here. Let's twist the knife. Ben Sherratt to the Florida Panthers on 50% retained for prospect Ty Smolanich, a 4th-round pick that became Frenchman Cédric Guindon, and a conditional pick this year, conditional first-rounder. What the hell are the conditions on this? Panthers' first-round pick in 2022 is top 10 protected. Okay, well, the Panthers aren't going to finish that low. So, yeah, the Habs are going to get the Panthers' first-round pick this year.
They might, man.
You think?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh fuck the Yeps. They're in about 12th right now.
Yeah, I guess if they drop a couple more spots.
And here's the thing: they've already played 52 games.
Yeah.
That's one of the higher numbers in the NHL. They are 3 points out of the playoffs to Pittsburgh, but Pittsburgh has 3 games in hand.
Hold on.
And they need to leapfrog 3 teams to get into the playoffs.
Jesus.
It's top 10 protected. The Panthers are in 11th right now on points percentage. From the bottom, reverse order. They have a worse winning percentage than Detroit and are barely above Ottawa and Philadelphia.
They might get their first back.
Jesus. Well, now that we've depressed the Panthers fans, holy shit. Yeah, we'll see if Larkin gets dealt.
Those are real?
What's that?
Oh,
Panthers fans are real?
He's making a joke. Yes,
I mean, I'm aware of at least 2 of them.
Huh.
I'm aware of at least 2 of them.
I thought they were just the rejects that couldn't fit inside Tampa Bay Lightning Arena. They just gave them jerseys.
It's true.
Again, wait until they're shit again. Their stadium's going to empty too.
Wait till they're shit again.
It's all, we got to check it. I was going to say. NHL attendance 2022-23. Let's see.
It's just how it goes in smaller market areas. Like the Sharks attendance is shit now, and at one point it was amazing.
Yeah, that arena is in a terrible location. So, let's see. Proper attendance graphs here. I just want to make sure that these numbers line up. I'm going to go off of Hockey Reference instead of Hockey DB. So, Hockey Reference has the Florida Panthers with the 4th worst attendance in the NHL. The worst, by the way, is Buffalo.
Wow.
At 76.6% capacity.
Move the team.
The Hamilton Sabres.
They clearly can't fill up a stadium. Move them.
I mean, like half of their fucking like season ticket holders are Canadian anyway.
Anyway, I'm just chirping because it always seems to be everyone trying to move Arizona and never these like other teams.
Yeah,
I drew the ire of Sabres fans last year for making that exact joke. So
we're making a point to management.
Yeah. What's the point now? You're not going to watch Tage Thompson every night? What the fuck?
Yeah.
San Jose, by the way, second worst at 78.8% capacity.
Yeah.
Shout out to Chicago, 81.8. They're hanging in there, bottom 3. And then it's Florida and Ottawa as the bottom 5. More people are going to watch the Anaheim Ducks than the Florida Panthers, Ottawa. Okay.
That trips me out.
If that doesn't say everything you need to know about their arena situations, it has to, right? Like Anaheim right now, god-awful garbage Anaheim, has better attendance than Ottawa and Florida. Those teams need new stadiums closer to the metropolitan area. Desperately. Fucking desperately. And then, just Chicago, San Jose, and then the Buffalo thing. The Buffalo thing just sketches me out. I get the idea of, Canadians, the border's open. Like, when does that excuse go away about Sabres fans' poor attendance? The team is, like, you have Dahlin, you have Thompson, like...
when power.
Yeah, fucking... I don't get that. Sabres fans, I want to hear it. What's the deal now? Because
where's that Hulk Hogan mean? Let me hear those excuses.
Holy shit.
Seriously, like I feel like it's so many of Buffalo fans. Like I feel like it's a lot of those East Coast northern teams that talk trash about moving the Coyotes constantly. And yet they have some shit ass attendance.
Coyotes, by the way, through 20 games, 100% capacity, baby.
Let's go.
All 4,600 strong every night.
Always per capita.
Wanted to mention this as well. There was a really weird story with the Ottawa Senators where out of nowhere they, at least the head coach in the AHL for Belleville was fired. There's reports out today. I'll read this verbatim. Quote, sources say there were trust issues emerging between the Ottawa Senators and Belleville head coach Troy Mann. I'm told the straw that broke the camel's back was when Mann gave some of the Ottawa Senators pre-scouting material to another NHL team.
What?
That's one way to get fired, yeah.
That's a great way to get fired if that's exactly what happened. It's weird because his younger brother is in the management group of the Ottawa Senators. Now, they claim his brother had nothing to do with the decision to fire him. But this is one of the weirdest stories that I can't wait to see unfold as we get more information. Because some people have taken this to be, was he trying to get DJ Smith fired so he'd be promoted from AHL head coach to NHL head coach?
That's what it sounds like to me.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like a lot of corruption. It wouldn't be the first time there's corrupt politics in hockey, right? So,
wouldn't be the first time that Ottawa had corruption.
Oh my God. So shout out to Claire Hanna on Twitter at CLA Hanna, HANNA.
Isn't that the capital, Ottawa, of Canada?
It is.
Yeah, okay. Just making sure.
It is. I just wanted to note that because it's something everyone should be keeping an eye on. But yeah, his brother is an AGM for the Sens.
So he thought he can get a coach fired and he'd be the first on the list because of nepotism.
What it sounds like.
I mean, nepotism is rampant in the fucking NHL, so.
Like that really, really sounds what happened, right? Like if I can get DJ Smith fired, I'm the guy. Crazy. One of the craziest stories in hockey I think I've ever heard. The only issue is we don't have enough info to really know exactly what happened. But as we know the story right now, and a lot of times I don't like mentioning stories until we kind of know the full situation. That's why, on the show or anything like that, like the whole Zegras thing wasn't discussed in full on the show until it was like, hey, it's being disputed. Gotta try to be safe over stuff like that. But yeah, this is just, if this is true, incredible. Make a documentary out of this. I wanna know all the details. Get Jonah Hill in some sort of role. I don't care which.
Money
just
puck.
Perfect for it. Final 3 things. NHL US TV viewership is down 22% this season.
Wonder why?
It's because they went woke.
Jesus Christ, that woke me up.
They only started doing woke stuff this year.
It's from all those Pride nights, real American heroes. We're not going to stand for that. We're going to tune out and go watch football.
We're not over here.
I'm not surprised it's down because, again, they don't fucking market players.
Yeah.
They don't market amazing plays. You have people actively fighting against skilled players to get their due. Yeah, blackouts are awful. I can't speak on the ESPN app, but apparently that's trash. But blackouts are just atrocious. Absolutely fucking horrible. Like, I remember buying the NHL.com thing because where I lived in the Bay Area, we could only have, because of, good old cable monopolies, we could only have Charter, so we couldn't watch the Sharks games because they were on Comcast only locally. So I buy the NHL app to watch the Sharks games, and I can't because I live too close. Even though I legit cannot watch Sharks games because I cannot have that cable, I can't watch them on the NHL app either because I live too close.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking ridiculous. So, Pirates, baby.
Yeah, you know what's crazy about that? There's a saying from, I think it's Gabe Newell of Valve, CEO of Valve. If you want to stop piracy and stuff like that, make your service better. That's simple. I think it's something along those lines like that. Make your service better so people have to pirate your games.
Imagine Valve having good ideas, man.
Right?
Of course. Besides not releasing third games, they're amazing.
Hey, listen, stop it too. You don't need to make it crazy. Half-Life Alyx is basically Half-Life 3. That game's fucking amazing.
See, fuck Half-Life 3. I want Left 4 Dead 3.
Well, you already
had that. It was Back 4 Blood.
No, I didn't even play that game, and it looked like it died immediately.
It did.
Yes.
Yeah. It's got to be Left 4 Dead.
Yeah. Like, the fact that with all these blackouts and all that stuff's happening all over across the league, that's one thing. And then, the ads basically being unreadable and having certain things basically be just a complete mess is another thing as well, too. But the fact that I can go to a third-party website, pay them the same amount of money that I could give to the NHL, and watch literally every fucking game whenever I want, wherever I want, that's the big issue. The fact that third-party services have figured this out a lot better than the actual main source. It's insane.
I mean, Sin kind of hit the nail on the head, right? The big 4 to 5, really, it's the absurdity of the just flood of ads that you get your way when watching a broadcast, taking the next step further with the digital ad boards.
Please gamble. Everyone gamble.
I was just about to say, along with ads on the jerseys and helmets, the gambling ads are out of fucking control, especially in Canada, from my understanding. They are out of fucking control. Because there's so much money to be made, fuck the effects that it could have on the quality, essentially. But yes, gambling ads are out of fucking control. Blackouts. Huge factor for me. All right, so if there was an awkward cut there, we had a technical issue. I'll apologize for that. But to my point, with the Bruins, and hopefully the stuff is there from the second recording option. Like I said, if I want to watch the Bruins, despite having ESPN Plus and having access to everything on the every other game on that platform, if I want to watch the Bruins, traditional cable, I have to go through their preferred provider of Fubo instead of Hulu TV. Or you can go directly through Nesson, who was the broadcaster, and it's like $350 for the season. It's just not sustainable. It's not affordable. So no shit. You make it difficult for people to watch their local team in a general sense. That is going to be a factor. The ESPN app, again, I haven't really screwed around with it, but it is pretty bad. On top of that, piracy is super fucking easy and the quality's good. Compared to, so I've heard, other sports, it's a hell of a lot easier to find what you want to watch hockey-wise.
Mm-hmm.
And then there is the general issues that you mentioned in terms of marketing their stars. I mentioned the Trevor Zegras thing a minute ago for this reason. He has faced nothing but people trying to tear him down since he's joined the league.
Yeah.
And you had that incident pop up where it's like, well, did he say something heinous? And people are immediately jumping on it of like, yep, he's a piece of shit. See? So is he a bad hockey player? He's also a piece of shit. He'll never be an Elite 1C. And it's like, the guy has a personality and does the Michigan, and we're so against this?
Yeah.
Like, there's the joke consistently about just, it's like, here's a picture of hockey players' personalities personified, and it's just a brick wall. Whereas in the NBA, say what you want about, the likes of, today comes to mind, he requested Kyrie Irving. Like, for good or for bad, that motherfucker has star power, and people talk about what the hell he's doing. Oftentimes for worse, because he's a shit person.
Raptors Kawhi Leonard, of all things. Just how awkward of a guy he was. That was so like, oh, this guy's like just awkward. Just
but he has more personality in being awkward than most NHL players have, or at least choose to show.
Right?
Like,
it's a variety of issues, obviously, and it's all adding up.
Yes, they're so bad at marketing. Hurl has some of the funniest fucking interviews on the planet because he's always happy no matter what, pretty much. But he talks so fast with the thickest accent. It's hilarious. I don't know. I feel like almost every team should have like one person that's they do. Every team really has one person that's extremely marketable. And for more than just how good they are. McDavid, you got to just market his absurd skill level. They don't do that enough at all.
No, and it keeps his personality level down to nothing.
Yeah.
Like, when in any other sport, their top star in terms of personality, if you're looking in the NFL, say it's Patrick Mahomes. He's not the most out there person in terms of personality, but there's at least something.
His brother
LeBron
is.
James, there's something.
Yeah.
Like, fuck. I mean, here's the problem. The only other sport that's this bad at marketing their stars is baseball. And look at where baseball is right now.
Dude. People were freaking out because Jazz got on the cover of MLB The Show 23. Like, the same amount of outrage that, like, I would say the same amount of outrage that Zegras and Nurse got. I mean, excluding the sexism from Nurse's case and the racism from Nurse's case. So, not at all like how Sarah Nurse got it, but just like how Trevor Zegras got it. It's just not. I don't want to say the future is now, old man, but the future is now. They're looking at people who are entertaining and kind of show stopping in those regards, not someone who's just like, oh, he's a good kid. He plays by the book. He goes in hard in the corners. Like, we're looking for the flashy shit. Looking for the stuff that's like more spectacle, not just drywall, dry painted, wear a suit to hockey games constantly kind of thing. Like personality. Just
the NHL was smart. They'd realize like the most viewed clip was that Zegras flipping shit over the net and it being batted in. Like, that had a ton of engagement from basketball stars, and that's who you should be looking to on how to market is the NBA, because they market the fuck out of things.
On ice.
Like,
the most personality you get is Brad Marchand going after Steve Dangle on Twitter.
Dude, that was crazy.
That was funny as shit, man.
Oh my god.
I mean, I like Steve a lot. It was funny.
It was hella funny. Steve had a pretty good response, though. I can't lie. That was a pretty slick response.
He's a good sport. He's a good sport. That's the most that we get, aside from, like you said, local post-game interviews. And look at this suit David Pasternak wore walking to the arena. Here's Patrick Laine with his glasses. Isn't he wacky? Like, that's not marketing.
God. I think the best thing that happened to sports media Paul Bissonnette, Jesse Pollock. Everyone hates Jesse so much. Great, amazing guy. But he gets out of obviously have experience there, but he gets the most engagement out of anybody at Bar Down or TSN. Anybody. And stuff like that, people like him, amazing for the brand and everything like that. And it's just a fucking shame that the NHL is not doing anything to market that kind of stuff. They should be going in on stuff like this. Even the NBA, when something happens, you see social media teams making jokes. Joel Embiid got nominated to an All-Star game, and they're their social media teams he's not an All-Star, kind of making fun of that thing. The fact that the NHL is so behind on all this stuff, you see maybe the Seattle Kraken with their social media team is great. The Vegas Golden Knights, they push it a little bit, but they get that engagement no matter what. And so maybe you have to be a little iffy, a little off-putting to get that engagement, that get people coming in and clicking. Because at the end of the day, good press and bad press are both engagement. That's all you really want for social media, if it's good or bad.
Here's how bad the NHL is at marketing. All-Star Weekend. Erik Karlsson will not be participating in a single skills event because, quote-unquote, they didn't have any room. The NHL can't make room in their own skills event for right now, the best offensive defenseman in the NHL, the highest scoring guy.
They also couldn't make room for Seattle.
Well, that's not marketing a star, though. On the point of marketing a star,
that is marketing a star.
No,
that is.
Not.
You're marketing
not,
a top player for a team.
Level.
I mean, kind of. You're marketing a top player for an organization who's in the top of the echelon. The newest franchise team doesn't have a representative in the All-Star game. That's
Jared
kind of a smacking face of Seattle.
Jared McCann versus Erik Karlsson. Come on.
You're both right. Seattle should have representation in the All-Star game.
That's a different point.
To appeal to that local market. And Erik Karlsson is a gigantic star in this league who should be spotlighted more.
Yes. It's the point is on marketing a star. Erik Karlsson, it's just funny. Why can't the NHL simply make room in a skills event? Because they have rules to go by. It's a fucking All-Star weekend.
They break their own rules constantly.
Yeah, they just did.
Yeah. To your point, Endo. We want every team represented. Fuck Seattle. We're gonna put Chandler fucking Stevenson in over any of the amazing dudes in Seattle. Stupid. But yeah, that's ridiculous. The NHL just cannot stop getting in their own way time and time again.
Correct. Final two topics here. We'll talk about All-Star Weekend in a minute. Actually, that is kind of our main event, but I wanted to mention this. There was a report out that the New York Rangers' top trade deadline target is Timo Meier.
There you go.
Now, we have talked about what I, as a Bruins fan, would want for someone like Timo Meier. What, Sin, do you think would be the asking price? What would you want?
Lafreniere in the first.
Yeah.
I had a feeling.
I don't care. I don't care if anyone thinks that's fucking absurd. Lafreniere has not proven he is worth shit yet. Give me Lafreniere in a first. If you want Timo Meier, who's an RFA, and a sign and trade for a guy who's point per game scoring at a 40-goal pace, Lafreniere in a first. That's what it starts as.
So I was looking at both teams' kind of organizational depth charts, right? Sharks don't necessarily need a center. Couture, Hurdle, Bordelot,
Eklund can play C2.
They're okay, right? So it's, granted he's a former second rounder, but someone like Carl Hendrickson, you're not really looking at him. So then you go to the wingers, and that's where you find your Lafrenieres of the world, your Brennan Othmans, former second round pick Will Cool as well, who just made his debut recently. Capo Kakko, Vitaly Kravtsov, who might not be as tantalizing as they once were. In terms of forwards, you're looking at Lafreniere or maybe Brennan Othman, who was the 16th overall pick in 2021, he's on a 75-point pace in 57 games in the O as an overager, so he's not really...
Yeah,
he just turned special. 20, in fairness, so he's not destroying worlds. He's doing very well, but not this killer where you'd certainly prefer Lafreniere for the junior pedigree that he hasn't quite reached yet. And then defensively, The Rangers do have some good defensive prospects. I don't think you give up Keandre Miller.
That's the only thing I would accept.
Right. I mean, the secondary behind him is someone like Braden Schneider. Zach Jones is still in his early 20s. Matt Robertson. And then in goal, they don't really have
they don't have Shesterkin.
Yeah.
And they ain't giving him up.
You're basically looking at, you would think Lafreniere is like, this is where we're starting.
Yes. And fuck Kakko. No offense. I love my Finnish boys, but Kakko, nah. He hasn't proven shit. He's looking like a middle six at best. You need a guy with top six upside. The only one there in New York who still has that is Lafreniere.
And if you're the Rangers,
do it.
You are swapping Timo Meier, the proven product, for Lafreniere, who certainly as a former number 1 overall pick, you're hoping will eventually be Timo Meier, but at 21 years old right now is not. And if you're going for it, like presumably the Rangers are, then that's the price you give. You give up the younger guy who might have an even higher ceiling, but you don't know if he's ever going to reach it, for someone like Timo to be able to stay competitive in a pretty fucking deep Eastern Conference.
And I keep hearing this horrible narrative. Timo Meier should fetch a similar return for Bo Horvat. Why? It should be much better. For one, Timo Meier's not just on a heater. He's been doing this and leading up to this point. This is his trajectory. Timo Meier is an RFA. How the fuck should he fetch a similar price than Bo Horvat, who is essentially a rental because it's not guaranteed that he gets re-signed?
Correct.
It's an insane narrative, and I think it's being pushed by like larger East Coast, fucking media things to like try to drive down the price. But if I'm Mike Greer, I don't fucking move him unless it's a terrific deal, because you don't have to. You simply don't have to. You can still trade him in the offseason because he's RFA. You can still sign him yourself because he's a great goddamn player, and he's still young enough that you can build around.
Yep.
So fuck this narrative going around that he'll fetch a similar price to Horvat. No, he should fetch much more. He's better. Sorry, Horvat. He is. He's younger, and he's an RFA.
Would you say that, okay, Horvat got roster player, middle six roster player, prospect pick. Do you not look to have a Beauvillier in the deal?
Nope.
Because Lafreniere's stock is higher than Ratu's? Or do you just see that as like they're close enough, so you still need to have your first, your Lafreniere, plus something else, whether it be, I don't know what fucking roster player they'd want. They might have to be some move for cap. Barclay Goodrow. A first, Lafreniere, and Barclay Goodrow for Timo Meier for cap implications. Is that something you're interested in as a Sharks fan?
I don't want Barclay. That contract's awful.
It's a pretty fucking bad contract, which is why the Rangers might look to offload it.
Let me check something real quick.
I do think the assets are in place for these two teams to work out a deal for Timo Meier. Certainly.
I do think so, too. Yeah, if we're going down that route, throw Hedl in the conversation.
It's worth noting as well, the Rangers have 2 first-round picks because they acquired one from Dallas for Nils Lundkvist at the start of the season.
Interesting.
So the Rangers definitely have the pieces there, and I say this as a Bruins fan, that's a bit of a scary thought. Cap-friendly right now as of this past Saturday, so it might be a little bit out of date, but their lines were listed as Panarin, Zibanejad, Vesey, Kreider, Trocheck, Goodrow, with Lafreniere, Hedl, Kakko as the third line. They need Timo Meier, just like they needed to get Andrew Kopp last year to fill in a spot on the wing.
Yeah.
I will say, if I'm a Sharks fan, Lafreniere a first, Barclay Goodrow, I take that for Timo Meier.
I'd rather have Kakko over Goodrow and take a chance on that.
Fair.
Or
I
Hedl,
do wonder if
but I don't think they give up Hedl. Yeah, maybe too much, but I'm twisting every arm that I can get as much
rightfully
possible.
So. And Rangers fans, like you said again, like, you're out of your fucking mind.
Yeah, 100%. I'm gonna be roasted for this.
Yeah.
But the narrative going around is fucking wrong. I'm sorry, it's absolutely wrong. And I'm sick of seeing it being reposted by actual Sharks outlets too. It's like, you guys are doing this wrong. You should be talking about how absurd that it is that he's being compared to Bo Horvat because he's better, he's younger, and he's an RFA. That's just the facts, man. Like,
there is a reason why I would be willing for the Bruins to give up LaSalle, fucking anybody, any prospect, any picks. Take them for Timo Meier, even if it were to be 2 months of Timo Meier, because he's worth it.
Yeah. Again, Timo Meier, like, people just don't understand how good he is. Like, his play driving, his WAR, he's got the numbers to back it up on an absolute dog shit team. And again, it's not just a heater like Horvat. He's just been doing this and leading up to this point. And it sucks. But yeah, if I have to lose Meier, it starts with Lafreniere in a first.
So by the time people hear or watch this show, the skills competition would have already happened because it's going to be starting in like half an hour at the time we're recording this. Any excitement for All-Star Weekend whatsoever?
Nope.
No.
They are doing fastest skater again. Roberto Luongo, this is kind of nice, will be participating in their breakaway challenge that will also see Crosby and Ovechkin team up for this event. So I guess a nod to like, hey, here's 2 stars we haven't promoted properly.
Crosby passes over to Ovechkin for the one-timer at the circle. Crosby starts at the red line. Ovechkin starts at the circle, just standing there. I wonder what they're going to do.
They have an event called the Tendy Tandem. It's NHL goalies against women. Alex Carpenter, Hillary Knight, Emily Clark, Rebecca Johnston.
Goalies versus women.
Yeah. Well, how would you phrase
the most 2 disrespected positions?
Yes.
In hockey.
And women.
Females and women against each other.
Did you just say females and women against each other?
Yeah. Sorry, females and goalies.
Jesus.
No, women are so disrespected in hockey, they're disrespected twice. There you go.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
They have an event called the Splash Shot, which is you're shooting the splash. You're reaching, I'm teaching. Basically, it's a dunk tank thing. You shoot the pucks at the dunk tank, and cool. Water.
Oh, that's already recorded.
Florida. Accuracy and hardest shot are back, and then the main event. Aside from the whammon, the Chipotle NHL pitch and puck. Quote, using a combination of hockey and golf shots, 4 NHL All-Stars will play a par 4 featuring an island green. Lowest score wins the Chipotle NHL pitch and puck.
Isn't that what the fucking NFL had in their Pro Bowl?
That's what they did for the fucking Bellagio fountain last year, where the dudes were just on a fucking platform in the middle of the fountain shooting pucks at whatever. It's the same fucking thing.
So, like, also the Pro Bowl, the NFL Pro Bowl apparently had something very, very similar, where it was like your golf stroke or something like that. I'm like, all right, cool. I mean, the Leafs are going to win this one, like, fucking hands out. God.
But you get it.
Yeah.
Golf. Because it's Florida.
Mm-hmm.
They're very hip. They're topical.
Are they going to have it at the
also
Mar-a-Lago?
Tropical.
Yeah.
Gary, hire this man.
Are they going to have it at the Mar-a-Lago fucking golf course? That'd be perfect. That'd be right on cue.
Fastest skater to grab the protected documents and make it back to the White House wins.
And it just becomes a baton pass of the fucking documents.
The splash shot is, you try to hit the thing to flush a document down the toilet.
Yeah. Splash!
It's the NHL Chipotle Paper Shredder Challenge.
Chris Smooth will be editing this. Splash!
Splash!
With that, everybody, thank you for watching, listening to, however you support this podcast. Thank you for supporting the show. We greatly appreciate it. We will be back next week when actual hockey continues. And yeah, like I said, we'll we'll enjoy the All-Star Weekend via Twitter form at best. Until next time, support Endo Mills on twitch.tv/Endo Mills as he does not play NHL 23 anymore, and he's a smart man for it. We didn't talk about that fucking disaster of a game today, nor should we.
I played drop-ins today. I actually was enjoying it a little bit. Let me explain. I put Big Tipper on because it's now in the game. I was having a lot of fun.
Well, it was on for golds with grinders, but
yeah, but Big Tipper, Total Eclipse, and Elite Edges all at the same time.
GG.
Yeah, I'm your worst nightmare, buddy.
You can catch Sim for the Win on Twitter at Sim for the Win Productions, and of course, he and I will be live. It'll be him, myself, and the Sports Gator in the booth for the NACL final, our North American League over at sportsgamer.gg. The final is being played this Sunday night, 8:45 p.m. Eastern. Make sure to tune in for that, as one of those two teams will be heading to Helsinki around the same time as Sin and I will be on the call. It'll be a fun night of watching people try to make this game look good. Good luck. With that, we'll see you all next week. Goodbye. Respect women.
Respect women.